Of course, narrative skills is actually just the ability to tell a story. One event leads to another. You're telling a story. And of course, everyone knows this story, which is The Three Bears by Byron Barton again. Again, I really like him because of the bright colors and the simplicity of how he tells the story. So this again is a good illustration of narrative skill. This happened, then this happened, then this happened. Very bright colors. And here, of course, you have the big bear, the daddy bear, papa bear, mama bear, baby bear. And you could also talk about sizes. Which one's big, bigger, and their porridge. Very bright colors, a lot of contrast. So again, this one is also good for print motivation. The Three Bears. Now another one one of our concepts is letter knowledge. Of course, in order to read, you need to know your alphabet and you need to know the letters that they go together to make words. A good thing about this book, Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus. It's a lot of fun. It's by Mo Willems, and it has the text separated from the rest, so it's very highlighted, and they can see the letters and the words very well. And as you point to the words as you read them, they can see the direction of words, how you read on a page. You can also see very clearly all of the letters, and you could talk about the letters. And it's a very enjoyable story, too. He's written several books that kids really love. Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus. Our next concept is phonological awareness, and that's a big word for the sounds of words and repetition of words and sounds. A good example of that is rhyming. You can hear the same sound. This is such a fun book for that. I've used this with babies a lot just because it's about a baby, but it's very fun, and it's called Baby Dance the Polka. And that is by Karen Beaumont, who also does a lot of fun things. Has rhyming in it and a really wonderful rhythm, sing-songy rhythm, and a lot of repetition even within the songs. And not only that, it's great for print motivation. Anything that has a pop-up or a flap in it and something that hides like that, a child loves to seek and look for that. So this is a book for lots of things. But again, for the rhythm and the repetition and the rhyming, this is a wonderful book. And we have many more like that. Of course, reading books is how you tell a story, and we want to always include books. But another way that's wonderful to tell a story is with puppets and stuffed animals. This is a bear. This is actually an alligator. But you know what? It doesn't matter because children can use their imagination. This is the book I use, Lizard's Song, and it is by George Shannon. And it's a very fun book. It is good for narrative skill because there's a real process of how the story is moving along. It has singing in it. It's about a bear who wants to learn the song that Lizard sings. Now, as I said, this is called Lizard's Song. This is the bear, and this is an alligator. But you know, children don't care. This is close enough to a lizard that they go right along with it, and they get very excited. So it doesn't matter if you have really nice puppets or if you have just stuffed animals. Children will always want to tell a story with props like this. So, and it's something they do very naturally. So this is another nice way to do the story, and we do that quite often in story time. So don't hesitate to do that with your own child and let them make their own story up. Now, the last part of our story time is an activity or a craft. An activity can be anything from, at this point, a math or a science problem that we're trying to deal with. That can be an activity that children can go looking for numbers or a concept for science. This builds critical thinking and skills and vocabulary. It could also just be an activity, could be a game. Something as simple as tossing a ball in a basket or putting a piece of tape on the floor and having the child walk on that tape. It's very good for their balance, it's good for their coordination. So then the craft can be also an activity. It could be something as simple as a bear on a stick for a puppet that they could then make their own story, which also has a little piece of felt on it so they could feel the texture, feel the difference in the texture. This is a very simple craft. Or it could be an activity or a craft activity, which is kind of the same thing. They could be sorting as a math skill and a science skill. And you could talk about the big word attribute. What attribute are we sorting these by? And this attribute is by size. These are all the same size. But then they could also use this same craft and sort by the attribute of color. And this would all be the same color in the ponds. And this is really, say activity, it's also a game, and children love games. Children love to play, and that is what they're doing right now. Play is their work, and their work is how they learn, and playing is how they learn. So what we may think is some activity that helps them to learn, they see it as a game, and that's all the same thing to them. So they love to play. So I would encourage you to do anything you can to help them play. Well, I hope I've given you a good overview of our story times. Of course, we have songs, which make you very happy, finger plays, which are very fun and active for your child, the book or the story, and also an activity and craft. We think you could benefit greatly by coming to the library, to bring your child to the library, to get books, and to also enjoy the story times. Again, we try to do this with a lot of fun because, again, children love to play and they want to have fun, and that's the best way to learn. So if you want, you can always pick up our book, Coming Down to Storytime, if you want to know about the parts of a story time, or maybe even do your own at home if you'd like, by Rob Reed. And we hope to see you at Storytime at the Lexington Public Library.